It has been a tumultuous 12 months for Mr. Davis and the venerable company. This is a company with heritage back to the 17th century in Germany. And of course, I know it from the mumps and rubella miracle that Merck conceived in the 60s and the 70s with a wonderful Gordon Douglas. Rob Davis, thrilled to have you with us today. Here's the criticism. You guys missed the Pfizer-Moderna boat. Respond.
Well, you know, I look at what the company has done, and I'm proud of our ability to contribute to the COVID-19 situation. This is an all-hands-on-deck situation. And obviously, you know, we brought forward Molnupiravir, which is an important antiviral drug to help in the fight against COVID-19. It reduces the risk of death by about 90%. So this is an important addition to the armamentarium. And really, as we think about battling COVID-19, this is an important drug. So we feel good about it. And this is about what do we all do to address this more than it is looking at comparison.
When you talk, I agree with you totally. When we talk to the medical experts, they are screaming for efficacious drugs for the poor, for those that can't take advantage of mRNA refrigeration or even the expense. How do you dovetail the Merck Research Combine with the ability to once and for all take care of COVID worldwide for the great number unvaccinated?
Well, and I think that's a great question and so important in how you can think about Molnupiravir, our antiviral. This is a drug you take orally. It's you know, obviously easy to supply, easy to get around the world. And one of the things I'm most proud about what we've done as a company is what I think a really creative and first of its kind access strategy to make sure we can get this to the parts of the country and around the world that need it. So I feel really good about what we're doing.
This is so important. What do you need from Joe Biden to affect this? What do you need from Washington to get your drug and the competition's drugs out to people in the Sahara?
Yeah, well, a lot of this is not only about what we do with U.S. government, it's about how we partner around the world, like what we did with UNICEF recently. So this is a global effort, not just a U.S. effort. But I do think, importantly, we need to help people understand the efficacy of these drugs, the safety of these drugs, and get the message out about how you can get them. And that's really what we are trying to do, is make sure people understand how can they find them and how can they take them, because they do make a difference. If you look, we still have in the U.S. 2,000 people dying a day from COVID-19, and you have a drug in Molnupiravir that reduces the risk of death 90%. We can make a difference. We just have to continue to get the message out there.
Rob, how difficult is it to determine how much to charge for this, given the public health need for it, and the fact that the U.S. government is really stomaching most of the bill?
Yeah, well, a lot of this, we look at what is both the value proposition we bring and the availability of the relative governments around the world to be able to give access to their own populations. And so we actually put in place a tiered pricing strategy aimed at what is the affordability based on economic conditions in the local market to make sure we can give access to the patients that need it, while ensuring we also continue to make the necessary returns to invest for the next innovation down the road.
There's been criticism around vaccines for influenza, for other viruses, as not being particularly profitable for a lot of companies. And yet here we are having this be one of the biggest health crises that we've seen in modern history. How do we sort of reframe how we think about vaccine development after it has not been a hot spot for a lot of companies over the years?
Well, I think what we just have to keep making sure everyone understands that vaccines in general are one of the greatest health contributions that have ever been made. If you look at the people and the lives that have been impacted by avoiding disease, it affects everyone in the United States, everyone around the world. We talked a little bit about MMR. You think about the number of childhood diseases, adult diseases we've avoided. So it starts with understanding the importance of this as part of driving for a healthy population, and then looking at what is the returns necessary to ensure that people continue to want to invest capital behind that. And that's what we're very much focused on.
Rob, cancer drugs cost $50,000. And of course, you guys, and I'm going to mention your good competition, Bristol Myers, are iconic in cancer treatments as well. Your pill for COVID has a treatment price of roughly $700. That is chump change compared to what it costs to hospitalize an unvaccinated person in America. Can you explain to our audience why Merck and Joe Biden can't get on the same page to take your drug and solve the unvaccinated problem?
Well, and I think, it is a matter of looking at partnering with U.S. government. The U.S. government is ordering. We've actually delivered already to the U.S. government. We're going to deliver about, in total, 3 million courses of the drug by roughly about actually the end of this week. So we are working with the government. They are supporting us. I think it's just about us collectively getting the message out there and ensuring that the drugs are in the locations where patients can get access to them. And that's where we're focusing our partnership with the U.S. government to try to drive that message.